My name is Tiamora Rose, and my mother is a correctional officer for Rikers Island. I am on the fine line because I admire my mother for her work, but I also feel obligation to speak out against police brutality.
My aunt, Patricia Bell, and my sister, Brittany Williams, are both correctional officers.
My mother is a correctional officer for Rikers Island.
My occupation is the New York City correction captain. I've been working on this job for 27 years. I chose this job because one of my siblings were murdered. We were thinking, why was it taking so long to find this person? It took over 7 years. We decided that we would go into law enforcement, so I decided to go into DOC.
I just took the job because I needed a job at the time. Until I got there behind the gates, that's what I knew I was getting myself into.
Well, ever since my sister started, I feel like we don't see her as much. And my aunt, I know from when she first started, I was a baby, but I know that at one point, she had to do a lot of double shifts, so it made her not be around a lot of family events and other things in that sort.
So your first shift is 8.5 hours. It's guaranteed in the climates that we're working in now that you're going to get stuck for an additional 8.5 hours.
It kind of really bummed me out that I couldn't really spend as much time with her or really do what I wanted with her. Her job kind of pulled us apart sometimes, but she always found a way to keep through with her promise and made sure she can find someone to either work with her or just find a way to make time with me, especially if it's a past day. She'll make that extra initiative to be with me.
Because it could be stressful, mentally stressful being there. It could be, because you always have to watch your back. You got to make sure everything is straight. You don't want nothing happen on your watch. You want to go home straight to your family. So, it could be really stressful sometimes. As far as me going home, I didn't let it bother me. Because I had my son to raise, so I was a single mother, so I couldn't really bring that home with me like that. But no, I separated it.
It's really stressful to watch my mom go to work every night and then hope she comes back safe, and just sometimes it's really hard because I have to focus on making sure that she's okay and that I'm on my best behavior. When she does have to worry about me, I feel guilty. She's exhausted by this point, and I don't think she can really handle if I were to mess up or do anything wrong or bad.
My son never been in trouble, thank God, because he knows what I was going through daily. And I used to always tell him, if I ever walked any intake area in either jails and see you sitting there, we gonna fight. But because you have no business, you know what I'm going through already. So you have no business even to think about trying to come through there.
How it feels like to know that my aunt and my sister both work at a correctional facility where their lives are in danger. It's like, I just always worried. I'm just worried.
Of course, everybody is scared. To say that you're not scared will be an ignorant statement, because just human aspect of it, and you're in a violent environment constantly, not knowing what can happen at any time.
One day she came home from work and she seemed a little frustrated and angry, and that seemed really off than usual. And when I discussed it with her along with my sister, I found out that one of the inmates had physically assaulted her, had pushed her. And at that point I realized how she is in legitimate danger and they can actually cause her harm, and I won't be able to do anything about it.
They feel as though since PD is doing what they're doing in the streets, that correction officers must be doing the same thing inside with the inmates. That's how I felt. They figured they doing it, so we must be doing it too. And that's not the case. I mean, there's some cases of it, but everybody, it's not an ongoing thing.
There are some people on the job, like my mom and various other family members, that actually do their job and do what they're supposed to do and follow the rules that are set for them to actually protect the people that are in jail and out of jail.
So the stories that they hear on the news, which would maybe like a 1 or 2% of negativity. They take that as the overall basis of every officer. They're under the impression that the average officer gets up in the morning, goal to go into work and beat up an inmate or take their rights away, leave them in the cell, don't give them services, deny them medical, whatever the hot topic is.
Well, my son is like a little political person. He's like always talking about the cops do this and the cops do that, but he basically know what I deal with because me and him talked about it a lot. He's just got this thing with PD. That's his issues. But as far as my job concerned, he always was supportive.
I'm more like very protective when it comes to other people feeling very anti-law enforcement. I understand like there are some people that are absolutely doing wrong, but not everyone. You're generalizing. You're doing the same thing that you're accusing them of doing.
That good part that I have, you have a whole nother family. It seems like you don't get nothing out of it, but if you, instead of being pessimistic, yes, it's some good. So it's like even for me.
Watching you work on this, just being a correctional officer, I've over the years realized how proud of you I am, because I see you working every day so hard just to make by, and you always find a way to either come home laughing about just a little something that happened at work, or sometimes you come home and you complain about something that pissed you off for the day. But you always find a way to just get through it and go to the next day. I guess I never really told you how proud of you I am, because I remember when I was little, how much I look up to you. Remember, I wanted to be a detective when I grew up.
A cop baby.
Yeah. I always looked up to that, and I saw good in that until I realized that there is a lot of stress in it, and I was just like, maybe not so much, but I'm still proud.
And we used to steal your cousin's hat. Walk around with his hat and Pampers on, you was a cop baby.